So some people, they decide to do bad to others, killing others, raping, abuse. This is all dark energies. This is something like it's over you. So it's things because we all have something called anartas, desires. If we don't control our desires, they will overcome us. But mantras is something like really connects you. For example, you're in love of a girl and someone from outside mention the name of the girl, you will look around, because just the feeling of the name of that girl is gonna captivate you. So that's God. God, when hear the name, like for example, let's say Hare Krishna, is calling that. So God is gonna come to you. That's the power of the mantras.
This is by far one of the darkest episodes that we've created. We spoke about everything from exorcism to possession to demons to satanic cults to just some incredible life experiences. Because in today's episode, we hosted Ambika Devi, formerly known as Juliana. She left Colombia in her teenage and began her search for Krishna. That's what brought her to India. She tried learning more about Krishna. She tried learning more about spirituality in general. And at this phase of her life, she's returned to the material world. She's exploring the material world. Of course, this podcast was extremely deep. Some parts of it were extremely dark and may not be comfortable to listen to. But what I will promise you is that you'll gain a lot of spiritual wisdom as well by the end of this episode. This was one of my favorite episodes, not just of this year, but probably that we've ever done on TRS. I'll let you slip into it. Remember to follow TRS on Spotify. We're a Spotify exclusive, which means that every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. This is Ambika Devi giving us one of our all-time best episodes of TRS. Enjoy yourselves. Ambika Devi, welcome to the Ranveer show.
Thank you so much. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Why are you nervous in front of the cameras and in front of the mic?
I don't know. Since I'm also asking the same question. I'm trying to change that, and today I'm going to change that.
Okay, today is going to be the change.
Yeah.
You've had one of the most different lives that I've heard about. You grew up in a very peculiar environment in Colombia.
Yeah.
Life brought you to India very randomly.
Yeah.
You spent time in India, and I've had some very insane spiritual conversations with you.
Yeah.
But the first thing I want to ask you is, why are Colombian people so beautiful? Always.
Well, Colombia, they are very, very happy. It's actually one of the most happiest country, even though we have so much war going on and so much corruption going on also. But the people, they always try to see the positive, and they are very, very happy always. They embrace everyone. So I also love my culture. But I was very, very attracted to Indian culture from very, very young age.
Okay. What about it? Do you think there's similarities in the cultures?
Well, the people here in India also, they are, very warm, very kind, very, very, but what really attracts me was it's so natural for them to be like the devotion, the love for God is what the most attract me. It's just in the roots, and actually this is what catch me, like the spirituality.
You feel like this is one of the most spiritual places?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. As soon as I reach India, it's like I come to India because now I don't live here anymore, but I always have to come back to recharge myself. This is a place to recharge, especially, in my spiritual. I need to come here. India is a beautiful, beautiful place and very, very powerful. And sometimes makes me sad that their own people, they don't see that. They don't appreciate the beauty, the incredible knowledge they have. Like
Hmm.
is just incredible. And so many people from the West, we are coming here, for that reason, to increase our knowledge, to focus in meditation, to read the Vedas. Is something like you are gifted,
Hmm.
and will be nice as you are sharing with others. And that's how we connect, because I saw you are a very, very spiritual, and that's how we connect, right? So
Hmm.
I appreciate what you do. It's very, very beautiful that you are
Hmm.
doing this.
Thank you. The one thing that fascinated me about speaking to you was that you've not had a normal 20s. When you think about other people in their 20s, I don't think I've had a normal 20s either, but my 20s have gone into capitalism and work and business and these things. Your 20s have gone very differently. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
very few people would have lived the 20s you've lived. There'd be many people who would have lived my 20s, but yours is completely different.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I actually want to ask you about. What is it like? Like, how does your reality change when you take up brahmacharya or when you just abstain? Like, what happens to your own inner world? Because if you're young, it's sort of a discipline you're putting yourself through. But I'm sure there's outcomes of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what's
yeah.
that like?
Well, as I told you, I feel this was my golden times. I still appreciate and miss so much these times. Brahmachari help you to really focus in what, how you say, like, whatever you want to achieve, you will achieve for sure, because all your energy is not wasted. We waste so much energy in different things, as okay, normal life, we know.
If you're okay, what all does brahmacharya entail? It's alcohol, drugs.
Yeah, okay, let me explain you. We follow four principles. And number one is, we, of course, we are vegetarian. We want our body full clean. When we bring meat already, like the word meat is something that is not fresh, and is so much pain in, like how like the emotions are still even there when you see. I mean, I know are very hard to watch these kind of things, but when you see the animal is gonna be killed, this animal already knows, and the anxiety goes even to the whole body.
Hmm.
So it's like we are eating that anxiety. We are not eating something fresh. The idea is to eat fresh things. Uh, People may say, "Oh, but you are eating veg, you are killing
Plants.
plants," but we cannot compare. You cannot compare a cow and you just remove one leg, and a tree, you pick up some apple from the tree. You cannot compare the same thing. We can't. It's not the same pain. I know plants have pain, but the minimal, because it's not a nerve system, so we know it's not that pain. So when we said we don't want to intoxicate our body even with meat, means like we are fresh from anxiety, stress. We don't want that in our body.
Hmm.
And also because we practice ahimsa, no violence. So this is number one, vegetarian. The second is we don't consume alcohol, drugs, no coffee,
No
no
coffee.
black tea, no,
Okay.
nothing that like the
Stimulates.
substance, yeah, the stimulates.
Have you?
So
But you're Colombian and you
yeah.
don't have coffee.
I had coffee, but now I drink coffee decaf. You can
Yeah.
take coffee decaf.
Does it
Is
does it
that
affect you
option?
now that you've not?
If I drink coffee, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I drink coffee, I will be like this. I will be like that. Like, I cannot drink coffee. Once I did in Colombia, because it's very famous over there. As soon as you drink, I was like that. I couldn't sleep the whole night, and I drank coffee like at 2 p.m., something like that, and I was like shaking. I say, this is not for me. I can't. Yeah, so something that not stimulate you. So we don't, no drugs, no alcohol, no coffee, or whatever that makes Red Bull, all these things. No, we don't
Hmm.
consume that. Um, the other is we follow celibacy. So we try to maintain that energy. The sexual energy is very, very powerful. It's actually the most powerful. It can be the greatest gratification you have, and when you save that, you can go to another level. Spiritually speaking, you can really reach another level when you save that.
Hmm.
So yeah, brahmacharis, of course, they follow celibacy.
for a man, it's obvious how it gets saved.
Yeah.
What is the case for a woman? So if a woman has sex, is it like she loses some energy?
No, it's mainly for men. It's
Okay.
mainly for men, but for women also. If, like, normally a woman, let me tell you this, but normally a woman who had a lot of sex in her life, she looks older. She looks older. You will see like they age faster than someone who was more devoted or just have one relationship in their life.
I think
So
it's probably the same case for men also.
yeah, but men is even more powerful because vitality is there. In
It's a life-giving
yeah,
force.
it's even more strong for men.
Okay.
For men, it's more strong. But for ladies, you can also see.
The one thing I've noticed is if I'm ever in we call it nofap, it's a theme on the channel. If I'm ever in one of those phases, my meditations go way deeper.
Yeah,
way deeper.
Yeah, it does.
And it breaks if you break it.
Yeah.
So that's where it got validated in my head. The argument here is that science doesn't have any proofs about this. And you'll hear a lot of people referencing that without having experienced what a celibate life gives you.
Well, yeah, that's why brahmacharis, especially if you live in the temple, this is a main one, a main one. This is of course, vegetarian is their natural, but celibacy is very, very important for someone who is, normally they dress in orange or, ladies sometimes they dress in white. I was dressing in white before. So we take very, very serious that, especially that.
Is there no dating also?
No, in those times I was not dating at all. Nothing.
In your whole 20s?
Yeah, no.
Wow. Do you ever felt like it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I was like thinking, okay, when is my, blueprints coming? Or, I was, yeah, I'm a woman. Come on, like we want to feel protected. But when I was focusing in my practice, later I understood I don't need that. I have a rich, Krishna is my everything. Later you understand that when I was more mature. But yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell, I have to be honest,
That's
sincere.
Fine. That's fine.
Some thoughts came out, I was dreaming when, but yeah, I was as soon as I saw boys coming, I was no, I'm a brahmachari. I was very, very strict, very serious. Yeah.
The fourth one.
And the fourth one, yeah. We don't play gambling or things like that. This kind of games that make us ambitious or superior than others. So we avoid
what
that.
else is there in that?
Gambling, when you do that, what's your mentality? You wanna be the winner. You wanna, your mentality change when you do gambling. Especially someone who does gambling can end up be vicious. You call vicious? They cannot stop.
Aggressive.
No, they cannot stop gambling. They just want to win, and sometimes you're thinking of winning, you are just losing. You are losing people and you are losing your material stuff.
When someone practices brahmacharya, does yoga the way you do, has the ability to heal, which you've got from your Colombian side. I'm speaking this from experience. For example, when I went to my Reiki course for the first time, there was senior Reiki practitioners. And all their faces were glowing. It was very attractive because they had that healing energy. And probably I was in so much pain at that point that I needed the healing. Most human beings today, 99% of human beings are broken, which is why there's so much of a need for therapy and things like that.
Yeah.
And then there's someone like you who does brahmacharya, yoga, you're a healer. So I'm sure that's a big part of the reason you got so much attention also from people.
Yeah. Even for big people. If I tell you the stories, I shouldn't say names because even some people are here in Mumbai. But big families, they want me to marry the son. And they
Indian families?
Yeah.
And why didn't you?
I'm telling you, I was very comfortable doing what I was happy to not have anything. I was happy to not own anything. I was just happy. And these big families, they were, you will have mansion here. Your family can come to London and Mumbai and everything. And we can clean all Brindavan for you. They were saying these kind of things.
Were you tempted?
Who won't be tempted? Especially when they said, I will clean Brindavan. I was like, oh, really? They can clean that. And they have the power. They have the money. But I said, will I really give myself for, my dreams? Like, giving myself in, like, of course, if we are speaking about me doing something for my dreams is good, but giving yourself to someone you don't love just because you want something to be big change. No, I was like, I was more strong. I say no.
Mm.
And yeah, it was difficult. It was difficult, but I'm happy I took that decision. Otherwise, I would be like, who knows in which house cooking and where, I don't know. And but I was very very strong. I remember I used to be very very strong in my practice, and as I tell you, it was the best times in my life. But uh, Krishna himself, he have to bring me down because my ego was increasing. Just because I was proud of I was doing the big change and everything. I met many politicians. I was speaking in something called War Hindu Congress. I can show you videos. I was there speaking in front 8,000 people. Brindavan, let's clear. I was like with big people. So my name was big in the mission. My name was very big. Um,
um, do you still wish for a partner after this whole journey?
for a
Like,
loving
do you want to
partner?
get married?
Yes. Now is the time. Okay, let me tell you. My life changed when COVID happens. Very hard situation happened. Like, I have a break down in my spiritual life also. Like we all have that. So in those times I was very very confused. And I was like, is this really the life I want? Even though I was doing so much practice, things outside for mistake of others, you start thinking, oh, this is really what I want. So I was means that you are not strong enough. Your practice was actually not strong enough,
Hmm.
because if was strong, nothing outside can disturb you. It's your relationship with God. But in those times I understood I was still fragile. And I went to my mother, and there all my life changed. There I was trying to have a normal life in US. I work for an influencer, big influencer from Mexico. She teach me many things in life. I'm very grateful. I have also many many friends. They teach me many things, but at the end I understood that this was not my path. And Krishna was always coming back. Coming.
What do you mean? How, like, you just see a photo somewhere, or
Speaking through people. Like people were like, oh, I heard about Krishna, like random people. And I was like, yeah, I know about him. And things like that, like he was always coming visions. I also have visions, dreams, many, many dreams. It was coming to my dreams.
and saying what?
Like I was just dreaming to go to Brindavan, back to Brindavan. I was missing that place. Brindavan is a very, very powerful, like you can feel the energy in Brindavan. It's very, very different. So I was just dreaming, and I say, one point everything disappointed me in US, and my mother was there. She was a big support. She's still now she likes the bodies. She likes, now she's fine. She's still very, very powerful in her spiritual process, but now she's nice. She can understand me more. So, but still, I was like missing that place, missing so much that place. So I just said, I need to go back. And on the way back, I stopped first in Abu Dhabi. In Abu Dhabi, I teach yoga. I was teaching yoga, meditation, and it was very, very beautiful. I think it was one of the best service I did in a different way, serving in another way. And I was like actually searching for a job. I said, I have to. My mother was like, okay, you go again there. What, are you going to live in the temple again? Like, you have to do something for yourself. And I was working in India. I did like little modeling shootings. People were calling me for that. I did little bit, but I was not taking serious. Um, but this time I was like wondering what I will do. and I saw that as a big answer, and it's close to India. I wish was in India, but in India, a Colombian teaching yoga and meditation is come
You
on.
know, I think it'll work really well.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
I don't
Like,
know. Like here we have the greatest yogis,
no,
and
in fact, you will be able to charge a lot more money.
well, maybe I have to explain. No,
Plus, you kind of look Indian.
yeah, I, of course
Like,
everyone does.
even our cook asked us if you're Desi. And
Really?
we had to explain to him what Colombia is. He's like,
Okay.
oh, okay. Let's talk about that story you told me about your grandmom.
Which one?
Okay, great that you said which one. I'm talking about the experience she had in South India.
Okay, wow.
And I think you should begin this by giving some background
Okay,
on
can
your.
I tell you before what I think happened? In my this is something like I know you like these topics. Before when I was a little girl, I also saw things. I see how they were closing the doors. All these we call butas, or ghosts. Like or souls who are lost. It can be different personalities.
What do you call it in Spanish?
uh, well, there are so many words for that. Fantasmas, or el diablo, the devil, or things like that. Like you can call whatever you want, or maybe just spirits. There are also spirits who are lost. My mother, she used to pray for people, and sometimes people carry energies. Sometimes they are good and bad. And
What do you mean carry?
my mother, she used to pray for many, many people, and many, many different people came. People who were Satanists, in the cult of Satanists. So they have very dark energy, they carry like devil energy inside them. So
Can we talk a little bit about this?
yeah.
Because this is a very kind of specific to the West narrative, and
Yeah,
even I would like to
okay.
know about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Because you only see these in movies and video
Yeah.
games.
So we call devil
El
of
Diablo.
course, El Diablo. Very good. So and with the devil, they are many different demons. So some demons are like in charge of the how you call lust, envy, jealous. Each demon,
Seven sins.
anger, yeah, all of them, and they have forms, and they have energy. Like you can feel the energy, and it say like it doesn't say, because I experienced, I saw with my eyes, so I know it's real. So people were carrying this kind of entities inside them, and my mother was kind of doing exorcisms.
You saw exorcisms?
Yes, I saw it. It was very scary, because my mother, she was very powerful. She was also sweet healing prayers, but she became like a warrior, and she was kind of fighting with these entities inside people. So for example, it was a girl. She was in Satanic cult, and she wanted to go out, and they were disturbing her so much. I remember so well about it.
But
And
what's the point of joining a satanic cult?
they do rituals, they do worship to the devil, things like
For
that.
what? For power?
Can be power or whatever they want to achieve, like materialistic achievements only.
Do you think it happens in India?
I think so. I think so. I believe it's everywhere in the world. It's just different names. But I do know that there are some worshippers of Kali who are like kind of they can use like kind of this energy, very very dark energy. But I didn't explore that here at all.
It's Kala Jadoo energy. That's what they call
Okay.
it. Black magic.
Okay, yeah.
But I think the energy is the same.
Yeah, I believe so. But yeah, for example, this girl, the Satanic girl, she was trying to go out from that, but she just feel like they were disturbing her every single night. And in the soup, she just was finding like she was drinking, eating soup. In Spanish, we say drinking, but in
No,
English, eating soup, and she find hair things like like disgusting thing. It was just like black magic
like as
on
in,
her.
she would hallucinate. about the? There
No,
was actually
it was
hair.
actually things like that, and she wanted to leave this kind of people, and she knew about my mother. My mother was very popular in some time in her life, like when we were kids, and she knew about my mother. And as soon as we saw her, immediately we felt the energy. Our skin was like a chicken skin, and we were like, I could feel the energies. I got very sensitive, especially when I was with my mother. I was very, very sensitive. I saw many, like, entities. I saw many, many things. We saw how they throw the doors, things like that.
Can you describe with this girl what happened?
Yeah, she came, and my mother was praying for her. My mother said, go up, because she have a very, very dark energy. And what my mother didn't take care so much is just she was praying for all these people in our house. So later the entities were disturbing us. So this girl came, she was praying, and of course they started speaking in different language that you don't even understand. And they start shouting with different voices.
You saw this
Yes, many times.
many
And yeah,
times, like even in
it's, it's,
all.
it's like the movies. It's like exorcisms. It's actually, this is not fictional. This is there for a reason, because it's happened.
Is there a movie which is very close to the things you saw growing up?
Exorcisms,
Ex-
things like that.
okay,
Yeah, is
Exorcist.
that strong? Yeah, is that strong? That's not fictional. I don't know. People think, oh, these things doesn't happen. It happens, and actually, by watching this, you are calling these energies.
Really?
Yes. And we enjoy, we enjoy to get scared. I used to enjoy, but later I understood how these energies was around, because you are calling energies. These movies, they have so many subliminal message. They have names. When you repeat, that's why mantras are important. That's why our words have power. Wherever you say it, you are calling that. When you say, I'm sick, I'm tired, you will be always sick and tired. But when you say, no, I'm strong, I'm powerful, that you are calling. So the same thing, when the TV is giving a message, this stays in your consciousness and around you. So when we watch these kind of movies, some energies can stay there.
Have you seen Hereditary?
Which one?
Hereditary.
Is
It's
this
on
girl?
Netflix.
Which one? No,
It's
no.
about that little girl, the family. Never mind.
I'm not watching now. Like, just to be open with you, I have to find the name of the last movie I watched. It was so dark. It was so dark that inside I said, okay, now movies are becoming very strong. It was like actually a satanic cult in the whole movie, and they were being very open, and they were chanting the names of devil. So I say, this is already in, like, this is not like Freddy Krueger. This is not like, Jackson. No, they are not anymore like that. They are like super open in these kind of things. And I understood, and I say, if these movies are gonna be like this open, I'm not gonna watch that anymore. So I decided not to watch.
It was an English movie?
Yeah, I have to give you the name. It's a girl who does.
Yeah, it's the same movie.
It's that one.
I'm talking about the same movie.
Terrible. This I watch.
Isn't it weird that we were thinking about the same?
Yeah, I forgot the name, but my
But
brother.
don't, this place is protected. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh my god! As soon as I watch that, I say bye. I'm not gonna watch these movies anymore, because I felt, especially with that movie, I felt the energy stay with me, and I was like, no, I need to clean myself.
Yeah, I felt it too.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
I felt I had to wash it off. And the thing is, that's what people don't understand about deeper meditations. That deep meditations are like showers, which washes off things from you and at a consciously.
So my mother was doing all these things. She was taking these devils from people. Like,
have you ever spoken to your mother about what it was like interacting with those energies?
She have to become like a warrior. I was like just watching at her, and I was looking, and she shouts at them. She says, like, in the name of God, you. That's why I'm saying the names are very, very powerful. Names are names. That's why. Okay, maybe I will connect this. Like, I don't know if this is connecting but the Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna, is chanting names of God. What are you bringing to your life? You are bringing peace, love, devotion. That's why
Protection.
protection, everything, the chanting, the speaking is so powerful, it's so important. That's why this is the process right now we are doing. That's why you see so many people chanting Hare Krishna even in the streets, because they want to share the names and bring positivity around. So it's very, very powerful. So my mother was like invoking the name of God, and they say, you are not anymore here, you have to go from this party, you have to leave her alone. And then sometimes some of the energies were staying in our house, and they were disturbing us.
You felt it as well?
Yeah, they were opening our doors, they were playing with our toys, they were turning on the TV. I was like, this is so annoying.
But did you see anything visually?
Yeah.
You saw things visually?
Yeah.
Are you okay talking about it?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you see?
I saw many times, different times. One day we were having holidays in one farm in Colombia, vacations. We were just family vacations, and I saw these big, dark men walking around the pool. Like he was walking around the pool, and my mother was trying to pray so hard, because we all look like it was not a human. We all saw him. So we all have that open vision in those times. Now I don't have.
You mean in childhood? Because they say that a child is much purer.
Yeah, we are
than-
more pure, so we get it more. But in those times, I was like seeing everything. I saw also that they. I don't know what happened in that farm. It was like full of all of them. So I saw. I opened my eyes, and the whole ceiling was full of a dark, how you call, like cloud, and they were like entities moving like that, like horrible. Like sometimes you watch these things in movies, and people, they don't know that these things exist. Like sometimes it's just like a dark energies moving, humans moving around them. It was very, very dark. My sister saw a lady sitting in her bed. We were all seeing things that night, and we were like, oh my God, we would just want to go out. And then we all end up in my mother's bed. And we were like, because my mother is very, very powerful. She was not scared at all.
All these things were coming into your house because she was fighting with such energies?
Yeah, even she now she realized that she shouldn't do that so openly.
Why?
She stopped it. Just to let you know, she stopped it. After some years, she stopped it. And that's one of the reasons, I will be very honest with you, because I saw she was amazing. She's super powerful. But these things doesn't make a kid happy, That's why I wanted something more gentle. Like I want a process more relaxed.
But did these things that you saw ever try to harm you or your siblings?
They were not harming you. My mother was very, very powerful. They were scared of my mother, but they were just disturbing.
Like trying to scare?
If you have God in you, they cannot touch you. They cannot do anything. But because we were kids, we were just scared, They were just disturbing us. But never happened like nothing.
When you say when you have God in you, one way to bring that is meditation, another way is mantras. What else?
Sorry? Again.
How do you bring God in you?
Having your spiritual practice. You have to... I will tell you, like, you can go to temple, you can learn from them, or you can just start absorbing from different cultures and understand, okay, this is the practice I want. It's just something to connect you with God. You can sit down, start breathing, and start connecting with God. Do as, like what I was, sometimes I do that. I just speak to God in my mind. Like, it's so much in me that I'm speaking, oh, God, this happened today. Like a friend. You start understanding that you are not alone. And this is why people suffer so much from depression and anxiety. And they believe they are alone and they are nothing. But when you understand we have a super soul inside, and we can connect to that, nothing can break you. Nothing. Not even living these entities, dark entities, no. But you have to become a strong spirituality. We need a practice for that.
Because you have such a deep understanding of God, I want to ask you why you think God created these things. Because even these things came out of God.
This is a very good question. Very, very good question. Because there are some living, like, as I told you before, there are so many different entities. We have the big demons, we have the lost souls, we have, like, different energies are there, as we can also have incredible energies. Some people call them angels, demigods. They are amazing, even super souls. They, like, we don't only have this negative energy, we also have the powerful ones. So I believe, like, some people is just um the, how you call that, like, the, as you see, some people, they are very, very attracted to dark energy, like, very, very attracted.
Like you and me.
But not in that way. People like to practice black magic.
Okay.
People like to, like, one of my stories I will tell you later, but people enjoy doing black magic and killing someone. What do you think will happen with that person? It's going to become that entity. So, how I started? Well, it's many stories about it. As we know, entities in the Vedas also, they have their story. In the Bible, I can share with you, like, in the Bible, because I believe the Vedas, you already have so many talks about it. But in the Bible, says that God was with this angel who became very, very jealous of him, you know? And that was not the idea, because no, we shouldn't feel jealous of God. We are all creation of God. So he wanted to have that position. And that's when he fall from his ego and it became the devil. And so many others,
Lucifer.
yeah, Lucifer. So all of them fall with this devil, and they just wanted to. God was doing the positive energy, so they wanted to do the whole opposite of God. That was the dark energy. So if we are not powerful enough to follow some sattvic process, or meditation, prayer, this kind of energies can overcome to you. So some people, they decide to do bad to others, killing others, raping, abuse. This is all dark energies. This is something like is over you.
Hmm.
So it's things, because we all have something called anartas, desires. And if we don't control our desires, they will overcome us. And when they overcome too much, it can become very, very, very polluted inside you. I will give you one example. It's a bit tough
No,
one,
sure.
but I think is the best one. Like, for example, someone cannot control themselves in sex. They are very, very open in sex, too open. They start trying with this girl, that girl, that girl. Later, they want to go more, more, more. They become very, very addicted. And later, what's the thinking? It's just sex, sex, sex. And later, with whatever object or whatever living being, they want to try, because a woman cannot fulfill that person anymore. So that person couldn't control his anartha, that was the desire of sex. So you know what I mean? Like, we do need some practice in our life. Practice is, you have to put a cross in your desires.
Do you think the way to look at the devil and even God in general is that both these energies are inside you, and depending on your practices and your belief systems, one of them becomes stronger? And if your devil energy becomes stronger, then you attract the actual devil into your life, which is El
Yeah.
Diablo or these darker entities.
Yeah, this is what I'm calling anartas. Anartas, the desires. So we do need to. Maybe I have a desire to be like envious or jealous. So how I will control that? You know that envy and jealousy can kill the person you are jealous. So till where you will control that? By doing a spiritual practice, but increasing this positive side.
Okay. What did your mother say about El Diablo?
Well, she always prays. She always prays, and she always protects us from, because she's saying that nowadays is even more powerful.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
Well, I'm having like Christian conversation
No,
with
do
you.
it, do it. I'm here to
Okay.
learn. We're all here to
Okay.
learn.
I find many similarities in the Bible and in the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. It's something called apocalypse
Yeah,
in the Bible.
yeah.
And in the Bhagavatam, they also explain how spiritual people in the age of Kali later they have to even hide because they cannot even do the practice, the spiritual practice. In the Bible is the same. Like I find so many similarities because I read both. Some people will maybe judge about this, but I'm telling my own experience, right? So this is the age of Kali. So we in the Bible is the apocalyptic time. Nothing is happening yet, but we already see many things happening, like many industries, music, movies. Everything is like just as we spoke about the same movie. It's like so open about the devil, the dark. They are showing like Satanism. It should be a open religion even now. I don't know if you heard like it's Satanism is now an open religion in US. They have a church open and everything. So nowadays it's gonna become like more like that. And spiritual people will go down. Why? Because we don't like for certain people who commit mistakes in the church, they abuse kids, yogis who also took power and abuse. For this type of people, now the spirituality is getting damaged. Oh, these people they say they are spiritual, but look what they do. But my dear, everyone have that. Is not spirituality is not them. They are not this. They are not God. They were trying to give a message, they commit a mistake, they fall down. But the real spirituality is what is in the scriptures, and this is what we are trying to follow. So that's but nowadays, because of all these examples, people that doesn't want to go to church, especially in the West. And here people find like, oh, going to temple, that's for elders. I will do when I turn 70. So people, they don't see that anymore. And I find that a bit sad because we do need, as I told you, we don't need a spirituality. Material life is almost in our daily life. When are we gonna go out from this and connect with God? This is very, very important.
Now that you're saying that it was real chants in that movie, it makes me think about the movie again. That there definitely.
Now you will go and watch again.
No, I won't actually. And I'll tell you why. The director then probably knew what he was doing.
Of course.
I mean, the creators, the writers knew what they were doing.
Of course.
And they were putting mantras on such a large scale out there, dark mantras on
This
such
is
a
what
large
I'm saying, that now everything is more open. If you watch Sabrina,
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
in Netflix. The one in Netflix is one in Netflix. They are also being very, very open. Like, I don't want to touch sensitive points, but now everyone wants to convert things like they are normal. It's okay. And people in our mentality will be, okay. What before was like, no, it's not good. People will adjust to that. Like, oh, it's okay. It's normal. This is what we call the Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Indian guys who've just fallen in love with you, by the way, watching this.
No.
There's a lot of love that's like being sent your way right now, whoever's reached this point of the episode. Are there mantras for, you know what Tej means? Tej is like glow, like you have glow.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I think when you just chant the name of God, you already receive automatic love. Like, I believe when you are doing something like, oh, I want to look nice, that's not good, because you are not actually doing for God. When you already pray to Krishna, Shiva, wherever you feel the connection, Jesus, whatever it is, that energy is gonna come to you, and you will be attractive. Like you will be naturally attractive when you have that God consciousness. It's already attractive.
That is Krishna for you?
Yeah. Krishna means the supreme attractive. He's the supreme attractive. So can you imagine? He attracts everyone. So if we attract Krishna to your heart, you will attract everyone.
Mm. I want to talk a little bit about your grandmother
Okay.
because that's what stayed with me. I was actually telling a friend that your story, it troubled me a little bit.
It's actually also still trouble me. It's something I need to find answer.
How do you even begin? Where was she born, and how did she get these abilities? And let's talk a little bit about the abilities also for people who don't know.
Well, she's also from Colombia, from Bucaramanga, where I'm from. Um, she got married with a Lebanese. Many people from Lebanon, they went to South America. So that's why when I'm saying we have roots, some Arabs roots. Um, she was very, very loyal to him. She have 6 kids with him, but later he left with another woman, and she just said, I will just provide for my kids. And she did. She was a hard worker woman, and she was very, very spiritual, and she just said in her inside, I'm gonna marry God, Jesus. So she just entered in a big, how you say, like pure stage. She was praying. She is. I have never seen in my life someone prays as much as she. In like never ever. Since I have memory, she's just holding the Bible and praying, 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 and that's why we all got. I believe she's the root of all our, gifts.
She didn't get it from her mother, or
No, she got it when she was in a very hard time. When I mean, mother was praying also. It's normal to be like Catholic Christian in South America, but she became strict. She didn't want to marry anymore. She just say, God is my husband. From now on, I will just provide for my kids. And so she was very, very powerful. Very, very, very
more
powerful.
than your mother?
My mother developed later more.
Okay.
But I will say they are all powerful. Even my uncle, my auntie, they are all, they got that.
Even you.
Yeah, but in a different way, but yes. We all wanted that connection with God so much. 2016, I work hard, uh, doing some modeling shootings for Shopper Stop here in Mumbai, actually. um, and I collect some money, and I say, okay, let me try to bring my mother and grandmother here. I bought a ticket for them. It was the first time I did such something like that, because I had some money, and I say, what shall I do with that? Okay, I will do with the people I feel grateful for. So I did that, and I bought them a ticket for Jerusalem. So they did a parikrama there in Jerusalem, and later India. And I say, okay, let me see how they will receive India. And there was when my mother and my grandmother came to Vrindavan after Jerusalem, and my grandmother she was old, very, very old. So I don't know if it was very good idea for her to do all this trip. Later we start traveling, and something happened in Alleppey. We went to South India, to Alleppey, with my mother and grandmother. We went to the pool with my mother, and my grandmother was lying down in the bed. She was not feeling good. Um, and that day she can see things more than anyone else, and she saw a lady coming to her, and she had like a flower. I don't know how
Basket.
basket, yeah, basket with flowers, and she gave to her. But my grandmother was thinking was someone from the hotel, because it was so real. She was like, she thought she was already the vision of all people is not that amazing, but she could see. But she was like, why you are giving me that? When she received it, from that day, she lose the vision, like almost. It was 80% of the vision gone. And I just didn't understand what happened. I was now later we tried to bring her to the doctor in Delhi. We were like, I was trying to go to the doctor. I was like, what's going on? Like, why? What's happened? You know, this is supposed to be a uplift and travel for them, and this happened. And she said, just it just was a very dark energy in that zone, and came to her. She received it, but she was like not aware. And she went back to Colombia, and since there, she lose vision now 100%. And now she just see things like if before she was watching, like now it's more crazy. Now she can see even angels, beautiful things. She can see beautiful lights. She can see even everything, but sometimes she see all this dark coming to her, and she say that it was coming from South India. And I just couldn't understand how this happened. How, we were just enjoying ourselves. So this is something that I'm telling you, like I still can't understand. I messaged you this day. I still don't understand how this happened.
But what do you think it was?
I'm trying to find answers. I'm trying. It's something that is still I don't understand, because if God is with her, I also will ask this question, like God is with her, why this happened? Sometimes I think when someone loses the vision, the material eyes close, the spiritual eyes
Yeah.
becomes stronger, and it's in her last phase. She's very old now, and she's like very very sensitive, but she's also very powerful. But she's very sensitive, like she can see things all over.
So, I mean, I'm just trying to understand this better. Could this have been some sort of a blessing instead of.
I c- this is what I'm trying to understand, if it's a blessing, because if you see one side, it's like the senses is what keep us attached to this world.
Hmm.
You know, we what the eyes give us, we enjoy forms. What the nose give us, nice smell, we want to smell things nice. We want to taste nice, try taste. We want to touch, like it's so much pleasure. We want to hear nice things. So when we are so much engaged in giving gratification to our senses, sometimes can be distraction for the spiritual. So I was thinking maybe she's, I saw like that, closing the eyes of material life to open the spiritual eyes. But to be honest, I don't know. I don't. I'm still like trying to understand.
How did she describe that spirit?
She says it was a very big, like she never experienced one as big as she experienced in Alepi.
Like powerful.
Very powerful. Like it was extremely powerful. She says that she never, even in South America, she never experienced something that powerful. So
It-
maybe I have to.
It was male?
It was female. Very, 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 very powerful.
Hmm. Um, I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like my mother says that. My mother also thinks like she prays and she says that okay, maybe it's a way to you connect more to God. But at the end, who is happy to not see? Like at the end, nobody's happy. So we are trying to understand this situation. But it's been years since 2016.
Grandmom is mostly at home now.
Yeah, she's at home only.
But if she's been in so much communion with God, like she's been so connected to Him. I'm assuming her environment is just positive.
Yeah, she prays a lot, but sometimes my mother says that if she sees something negative, because energies are there, so she give importance to that. So sometimes they can become bigger. When you give importance, again, we have the bad and good side. Which one you are feeding the most, it becomes more powerful. So sometimes if the energies are there, and my mother say, don't focus on that, focus on the good ones you have around. So this is a conversations they have that sometimes I'm like, like they have more experience in that than me.
Do you think it's wrong for me to write so much horror content?
No, I mean, if you are doing with a purpose, it's okay. If you are doing just to, cause this and send these energies to others, no, of course not. You are
Mm,
sharing. You are like what we are doing now is sharing. So many people have questions about it. Many people feel things and they don't communicate. They are afraid. Oh, this is a lie. Others may judge. Some people they are not open and they may judge others who feel it.
what do you say to people like that who are not open or who judge?
What can I say to them? Well, I just find a bit sad that people think we are the only ones in this world. Like it's so much energy. We are energy. Prana means energy. We are actually full of prana. So this body without that energy is nothing. As soon as you see someone die, it's because something left the body. It's nothing. No, it's not that energy. It's not that soul. It's not that spirit. Whatever you want to call. So you cannot say we are the body. We are not the body. Body is something like we are using for a short time. This
Mm,
body is not eternal. This inside us is the eternal. Is what we need to feed every day. And this is what I'm saying. We are not taking with us nothing. You are not taking this house. You are not taking your money. You are not taking your mother. You are even our most closest one. We cannot take. You are going alone, and you have to see which path you will direct yourself.
mm. Ambika Devi, you're a very beautiful, very powerful lady.
Oh,
And
thank you so much. You
it
also.
was very it was very intense talking to you. That's what I'll say. In a very positive way.
Okay.
I'm saying that in a very positive way. And I've understood the power of mantras a lot more through this
Yeah.
particular podcast, especially considering your childhood and everything you've experienced and seen. The fact that you're this person now says a lot about being closer to the higher power. That's what I'll say.
I want to share last thing about
Sure.
mantras. Like, this is a great opportunity for people here to understand the mantras are honestly the way out. Um, as I told you, the word is already powerful. If you put in your mind a word, you will achieve. But mantras is something like really connects you. Mantras is the way to connect. If I, for example, you are in love of a girl and someone from outside mention the name of the girl, you will look around, because just the feeling of the name of that girl is gonna captivate you. So that's God. God, when hear the name, like for example, let's say Hare Krishna, is captivating that, is calling that. So God is gonna come to you. That's the power of the mantras. You are calling and bringing to you. So I believe people should experience. Everyone should experience. So many people goes to kirtans, and they say, yeah, it's fun. They are dancing and they are chanting, but they don't really connect. The idea is the work is in you to really experience, to go inside you and chant with your heart. That's why we do that, because we feel it. You have to experience. This is all what I have to say. Like you really have to experience, and you in India, you have that. You should take advantage of this. Like
Mm.
it's a powerful. India is very powerful. Energetic speaking is very very powerful place. So I believe people should take care more of all these teachings from the great sages, the scriptures, and connect. And thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Wow. This is an insane episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was the episode for today, and I hope it lived up to the expectations I set up in the intro. This was an episode that stayed with me for a very long time. Ambika Devi's spiritual thought process had an impact on the way I look at spirituality as well. And of course, the more you learn about darkness, the more you're able to lead yourself into light. And that's why I have such a strong fascination when it comes to dark topics just like this. Keep in mind, a lot of parts of this podcast were cut out to make it more cinematic for the listeners. If you want the uncut aspects of the podcast, they're uploaded on our other YouTube channel. It's called TRS Clips, where you'll find highlights of every single episode. We'll link it below. Please make sure you check it out. Ambika Devi is going to be back on TRS. Until then, follow us on Spotify. Every episode's available on Spotify 48 hours before it's available anywhere else in the world. If you have any guest recommendations who could give us podcasts like this, firstly, really, do you? Secondly, if you do, let us know in the comments section. TRS will be back soon.